So welcome back, everyone. Today I am participating in the I Believe Challenge, which is hosted by Heidi Sonboul. I hope I've pronounced your last name correctly, Heidi. And the I Believe Challenge was put out there for people to share their testimony regarding their religious experience or their intimate relationship with God. And you know, I've done a few videos where I've shared, you know, my beliefs and have made it very clear that I am very, very faith-based, and I grew up a Christian, and I am still a Christian, and it gives us the opportunity as creators who also want to learn more about other people's religion and their faith, and to listen to their testimonies. So I've made it known, as I said, that the Lord has certainly worked in my life in many, many different ways. And I could go on for hours with testimony of what He has done for me and the works that He has done in my life. And I want to, you know, really touch on some of the things that are extremely important to me, and things that I like to share with others who perhaps are not quite sure how to express their faith. Oftentimes when I talk with people, they will say, you know, I have a very difficult time hearing from the Lord, or I have a difficult time expressing my feelings. And one of the things that I make it a point to do every day is, before my feet hit the floor, I immediately pray for guidance throughout the day. I express my gratitude. I ask for forgiveness. And I also ask that the Lord will utilize me in some way to do His work, and to give me the guidance that I will need to be able to get through the day, and to be able to interact with other people in the way that the Lord would want you to interact with others. You know, you do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. And so I firmly believe that, you know, if you really think about it, people are absolutely everywhere. And it's important for us to be able to be kind to other people, even if we don't understand why they may not be kind to us. It's important for us to be kind to other people for no reason that we necessarily feel like that's something that's going to benefit us. Don't do it with the intention that you're going to receive something in return, because we are all representing the Lord. We're actually all evangelists, basically. The moment that you leave your home and you walk out the door and start your day, just as you would be representing your family, you are also representing the Lord. That is my belief, and it's something that I stand by very, very strongly. And there's so many different things that, you know, the Lord has done for me. And like I said, I could go on actually for hours about multiple things. But starting this business was something that I know was the Lord's calling. And I oftentimes feel like something that we do, you know, if we are faith-based and we're religious, something that I think we oftentimes forget to do is to express our gratitude. And for me, it's extremely important to express gratitude every single day. Because it's very easy to pray to the Lord for the things that you want, but we oftentimes forget to thank Him for what we have. And so I definitely make it a point every day to express gratitude for even the smallest of things. You know, you can express gratitude for finding a close parking spot when it's pouring down rain. You can express gratitude for the fact that you may be in a hurry and you've made every stoplight. You know, it's small things that you can express gratitude for. It doesn't necessarily have to be very, very monumental things. Certainly, there have been many times in my life where I think, much like many people who have testimony to share, their life was far from perfect. I've been very blessed in that I've been extremely sort of headstrong since I was a child. So I haven't been easily persuaded. I wasn't someone who fell into peer pressure. You know, I've never had to overcome alcoholism or addiction of any sort. So, you know, I definitely know that I was being blessed from a very young age. But I was also, from a very young age, extremely diligent in making sure that my relationship with the Lord was extremely strong. So that has never ever wavered, and that's something that actually came from my mother, you know, and that's something that she instilled in me. And so when we look around right now in what is going on in the world, and I believe part of this collaboration was put out there to also bring a little bit of light into a world that seems to be extremely filled with darkness. You know, there's not a lot of positivity that is shared on a regular basis, and I think that that's something that a lot of people are lacking to try to provide. And so one of the things that I definitely try to provide on a daily basis is positivity and encouragement and uplifting and supporting. Those are the things that are the works of the Lord. Those are the things that the Lord wants us to do, is to be supportive of other people and be trying to lift up our brothers and our sisters. And so many of us, you know, we don't. And oftentimes we only want to do it if we think there's something in it for us. And, you know, that's not the right mindset. The right mindset is not to do something with the expectation of receiving something in return. You know, the right mindset is to do it because it's right. And it is acting godly in your efforts to do so. Now, I can certainly say that the majority of what I have wanted in my life, God has provided me with. But it is definitely on His time. You know, He always shows up, but it's oftentimes usually not early. You usually have to go through to get the breakthrough. And normally you go through some periods where you're questioning, why is this happening to me? I don't understand. I feel like I'm really being obedient to God, and yet all of these things are happening that are completely against me. And I've shared this before too. There's absolutely an enemy out there. You know, Satan works every single day to appeal to your senses. He knows what feels good, what tastes good, what smells good. And he's going to play on all of those senses to get you to waver from anything that would be Christ-like. He's going to want to get you to jump on board and go back to those old habits, go back to that old addiction. He knows exactly how to push your buttons. So we are in a fight. You know, I've said this before. You will never outgrow warfare. You must simply learn to fight. We are in a fight. And as long as you pray and you stay faithful, there's something that I always, always believed in is that you cannot have faith and fear. They're conflicting, you know. And another thing is, you know, if you're going to pray, then don't worry. If you're going to worry, then don't pray, because you cannot be faithful and fearful at the same time. It's just not possible. But so many of us are, you know, we have faith, but then we also want to hold on to the fear, because it feels comfortable to us. You know, if we think, oh my goodness, I do have faith and I believe this is going to happen, but what if it doesn't? Then we're always trying to prepare ourselves for some crisis just in case the Lord lets us down. Then we need to have that backup plan. Well, you can't have faith and fear at the same time. And actually, I believe that having fear is part of a sin, because it says, "Fear not, for I am with you." So, you know, I don't think that we should. I think that we certainly should be mindful of what's going on around us and definitely pay attention to things that are important or could be a potential crisis. But I don't think that walking around every day in fear is something that the Lord wants for us. I don't think that it's what He has wished upon our lives, or what we should, as children of God, should walk around feeling. So for those people that walk around with constant fear and anxiety and worry, you know, you really need to pray very hard. And I speak from experience. You know, I've been that person who has had anxiety and fear and worry. And, you know, I immediately have to rebuke it. You do not have to believe every single thought that comes in your head. Believe it or not, you actually can do your own thinking. You absolutely do not have to believe every single thought you have. You can actually say, you know what, I'm not going to believe that. I refuse to accept that. But sometimes we think that if it enters our mind and it's a thought, then that's just the way that it is, and we have to believe it. You actually can choose how to think. You can choose your own thoughts. And just as much as you can choose to believe something negative and bad, you can think something good and positive. You don't have to believe every little thought that pops in your head. You actually can do your own thinking. And that's something that I have I've worked on over the years, and I definitely can say that I am there now at this point. If a thought enters my mind and it's not something that I feel like entertaining, then I simply will change my thought pattern and move on to something more productive. So I hope that many of you, first off, have found value in my message, and that you will participate in this challenge. I will include a link to her invitation in my video, and I'd love to hear from the rest of you, you know, what your thoughts are and your faith and your testimony, because I think it is something that is lacking in what we share here as creators. I think some people feel like they need to keep their faith a secret, and that's not something that I have ever chosen to do. You know, everybody has their own opinions. I'm by no means someone who is chasing you around with a Bible saying, you know, you have to believe and you have to trust and you need to become a Christian and I need to act Christ-like. That's not me at all, but it is my personal belief. It is how I live my life. And so maybe perhaps by sharing that, it will help someone else. So like I said, I'll include a link in her, in my video description to her invitation, and I certainly look forward to watching the videos that others have done on this topic. So thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Check out my video description for links to all my social media sites, my Instagram, my Pinterest, my Facebook, the At Home with Zane online store. It's all in there. It's a one-stop shop. So thank you all so much for watching, and we'll look for you the next time.